That was the longest, I'm just listening to the sound, that was the longest 45 minutes, I think, of my entire life. And I don't like it. I don't like it because I still don't know what happened. All I've had have been encompassed and encased in the love of three gorgeous, very, very patient men for the last 45 minutes. One of them here, one on the other side of town, one that way. Yeah, I don't know, but between Phil and Steve and they've messed with my sound, they've changed my Facebook settings, they've changed the mic settings on the switcher, they've changed everything. And I've been mic'd up and still got 2 extra cables. I'm not, just get rid of those, just forget about those. So I had the gin out just in case the 4th final attempt didn't work. So I'm not sure the sound is perfect, but we've got it to the point where if I don't raise my voice too much, we'll be okay, because it's right here now. I'm not shouting at it on the camera. Anyway, you are all so lovely to come back. Thank you. Okay, it's a bit better, so I just have to be good. If you Diane, you always make me laugh. Thanks to the team at Chandler's Cottage. Coincidentally, their surname happens to all be Chandler, so it's a true Chandler's team. Shall we put the gin away? I think we can get away without the gin. Actually, that reminds me, I have to organise a bottle of that for Natasha. So, all right. Shall we just try that again? I mean, I know some of you have to go. I know some have got school pickup. I know people have got things on this afternoon, so I'm very, very grateful that you're going to hang for a while, and you can always come back and watch it later. You know, I could have come back and done it tonight. I could have just said, no, girls, we'll just go. But we've got things to do tonight, right? And you've got things on, and I've got other things to do tonight, so we'll do it now. Let's try that again. Jeanette, Mark, Nan, Sue, Jenny, Sweetie, Kay, Yvonne, hello again. Thank you, Diane, Glenda, Jill. Round of applause for the boys. Nancy, yeah, it is a bit better, Nancy, and we're going to run with this for now. Cecily, Kristen, right. Jenny Sleeman's here too. Catherine's back again. Going somewhere? I'm sure I saw you were going somewhere. How's that fun bus going, Diane? I told the girls about your comment. That was really good. Barbara, Florrie is here. Rosemary, Rhonda. Okay, we're going to get going. Thank you, Keezy. Appreciate it. Yvonne, thanks. Right, okay, good. We're all on the go. Yolanda's even joined us now from California. So, pros and cons to 3 starts. Yolanda's now here. Thanks, Chris. Great gun, by the way. Great gun. What's great gun mean? I don't know what great gun means. Oh, great gin. It's auto-corrected on you. Ow. Oh, I'm standing on another cord. Oh. Right. Valerie, welcome to the circus. Karen's here. Jeanette, welcome to the circus. Catherine. Now, Christine, I can confidently tell you now that if you've got problems with sound and picture breaking up at the same time, thank goodness that's not me. There's something going on at your end. So maybe reboot, out, go back into Facebook. When in doubt, turn things off and start again. Pen, paper, design, book, ready to go. Okay, Fiona, you're all good? I'm glad I'm back too. Good morning, Yolanda. So, I should just put the gin in the coffee, shouldn't I? So, what today was all about, I'm very, very bright today because I bought, this is, you know, I love to do my op shopping. This is, I think it's Dramana, Salvation Army with Mum, and Mum's passing me stuff over the change. Like I just pick up a big pile, and we walk down, and Mum's just fantastic. She stands at the door, and I take it all in, and then when you go out, if I put it on the right, it's a yes. If it's on the top of the door on the left, it's a no. So I'm going through them all. She's going, right. Oh, you're not taking that one. She goes, you are not taking this one. I said, I am too, because I just knew there would be an occasion where I wanted to be brighter than my fabric, and I wore it when we went to do setup for the soiree, and Margaret had a pink fit, but it doubled as my safety vest. That's all. And I never wear colours this bright, and I am stubbornly determined that winter is not going to be doom and gloom, and I think that means you've got to brighten things up as well, so that you have lots and lots of love. Maybe not this bright, this is like sunglasses requirement, but it's really important to keep things nice and bright and cheerful right through winter. And we always go, ooh, winter greys, blues. Yeah, that's fine, but can we please make them bright blues and silver? I don't want the colour of the fabric that we are working with to bring us our winter cold long evening blues. We've got to keep things a little bit askew and a little bit bright. Now obviously the new panels that came in that we talked about last week, prior to that manic little sale thing we did on Saturday, were these gorgeous ones by Paula for Benetix. So I've popped the blue one up. Interestingly, most of you ordered the blue, so I have, I think, only 4 60 centimetre repeat panels left in the blue, and I thought you'd all go this way. I really did think you would. I can't tell you how bright it is in here today, because I've got new ring lights, and because of everything was dark and black, I've brightened it up, and now I've got circles in front of my eyes already. I thought you'd all go here, and you didn't, which is great, because then I've got enough to do these kits. So this is a new tote that I've done. It is, for those of you that know how I go through, there's only 6 ways to make a bag, and that have got the little handbag design basics book, all of that, you'll get it, and you'll look at it and you'll go, that's very similar to this, this and this bag, and you'd be right. The assembly technique is nice, straightforward and simple, but I've added a couple of little extra techniques in that's what I want to take you through, and that's what I want to talk about, including 1/4 inch seams, you know, fine stuff, all of that. That's what I want to go through. Okay, so fussy cutting. Do you want to see the sides? Look. I had a lot of fun, and it was great colour therapy as well. So we're going to go through this one and this one that I put up for the event for the day. So now I'm completely thrown at where we're going to start. Let's start with the easy stuff. I got Steve to set up your little banner at the top of the page, and I was putting in the tag show 44, show 44, show 44, and then I brought them all up to check them. The one before Saturday sale, it was also show 44. So I think there might be a couple of little odd bods in there because they're from a previous show, but I've been through and popped everything up for today on that banner at the top. Now, Mum's Bean, you know what that means. Hello Joy, thank you. Please say my parcel arrived. Oh, you're most welcome, Carrie Lee. Hello Fiona, how are things in the UK? Oh, this is all wonderful. Oh, it's just all good news. All good news and positive vibes. Yeah, I should bike ride with it, shouldn't I, Sharon? I'm actually thinking of selling my bike because it's not a proper road bike. That's another story. Mum's Bean. It was Phil's birthday yesterday, the man in the house of the moment, to get us all up and working today. Family lunch. How gorgeous yesterday. Family lunch for 6. There was only 6 of us. But that was lovely. We went out, had a little lunch, came back. None of you knew, did you? We got away. But Mum brought back Pam's Creative Packs. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen at the same time. So I've tagged them. They're up. Oh. See, how are we supposed to compete with this? I don't know. Between Steve and his new electric rotary cutter and his neat pre-cut packs, and Mum and her this is not a kit. You know, this is what I go through all the time. Well, not so much now. People used to come in and say, what is this a kit for? And I go, it's not. Look at it. It's not a kit. Now let me show you another one. Aha, it's not a kit. It is literally a remnants pack. Isn't that beautiful? What's in the back? Oh, a bit of me on the back. So I've popped all of those up. I think there's 22 of them. So they are up, so you can grab one. Bit of a chewy checkout, I suppose. So you can grab one of those if you wish. We randomly throw one in if you have a particular colour that you don't want. Not that you want, because then that narrows it down too much for us. A bit handsy now today, aren't I? Please put it down if you do not do blue. A bit like Mum, never does blue bathrooms, could never inspect a house and think it was okay if it had a blue bathroom. Didn't matter that she could renovate it, just couldn't. Thanks, Kristen. I'll never wear this top again now you've said that. Yeah, so she could never buy a house with a blue bathroom, even if she could renovate it. You might be the same about blue. Can't do blue? Just please don't send blue, or please don't send any pink. And we will do our absolute best. Otherwise, it's a lovely grown-up lucky dip. So I'm going to pop these over here, or down there, next to the gin, so that we can do some other stuff. Right, next. I feel like we've got to catch up, but I suppose we don't. Kristen says they look like a licorice all sort. Can I just say something? Oh, a curated bundle, Leanne. That is very impressive. You can see. Yes, Fiona. Let's give Mum the credit. She is my colour muse. Mum doesn't sew. It skipped a generation, but her sense of colour is insane. In another life, she would not have been a medical receptionist or a dental nurse. She would have been an interior designer, or, you know, the creative editor of Country Style magazine, or one of those things. Definitely. Kristen, can I say just something a little naughty back to you? You know what Robert's favourite confectionery is? I'll tell him that when he gets home. Right, swing satchels. Now, Steve has been very, very busy restocking and updating everything sort of after the soiree, but also now because we've got so many kits and pre-cuts that we just don't look at shelves anymore. We don't just walk past and go, oh, that's a bit low, we should top it up. We systematically go through and make sure everything is in stock all the time when we can. So this is our original swing satchel. We've got the new one today, but I wanted to let you know that these are back in stock, all looking gorgeous. And I want to show you, oh, right in front of me, I would like to show you what is actually in one before we move on to the new combo. So here we go. These are quite different. I would say very different, quite different. Kristen, behave. I'll be back in my trackie in a grey t-shirt by tonight if I forget. So yeah. So what you get in this kit is quite different to what we do with our normal bag kits, because over time, before we got our new Swish Australia Post accounts and everything we've got now, you would pay volumetrically. Does that make sense? And it's the old Australia Post system for parcel post bags for what was in your pack. And also, you know, people don't want to pay postage on big volume of things. So if you need 1/2 metre of, you know, big, soft and stable batting for a bag, you might like to buy your kit from us and then pick up your batting in a local store. That's sort of where we've been up to now. And I know a lot of people buy soft and stable in bulk, or their rubber foam batting in bulk, so they've got it ready to go. And so it's sort of unnecessary weight and extra postage to send them a precious kit if the batting's already in it. It's all, there's pros and cons to all of it. But with the swing satchel, we did make the decision, probably it would almost be the first bag ever, wouldn't it, Sharon? I reckon it would be, besides maybe our little walker bags or our little purses, that we have put all of the internals in as well. And we used to say we put in our kits everything that you can see, and that goes for quilts as well. So you can't see the backing and you can't see the batting. You can see the binding, so we always put the binding in so it matches. These kits, we've got the whole lot. So obviously pattern. Stephen picked up a faux pas yesterday, late in the day. These patterns, look. Oh, is this where it says it here? It is. Stephen has fixed this. Look at that. It says 30 centimetres 12 inch, 30 centimetres 10 inch. That's it should say 12. No one said anything to me. I'm assuming because we're all Aussies and we're buying metric, you've all bought 30 centimetres or pulled it out and you're all good. But this has been fixed. Steve found it last night. So, pattern, pattern. One drop dead gorgeous piece of Liberty. Can't beat that, can you? How beautiful is that? 30 centimetres of that in your kit. You've also got 30 centimetres of denim shirting. Now, this was up for heated discussion in our house last night. Hi, Steve. Trying to get heads around the fact that even though pattern says 30 centimetres, when we put the denim in your kits, it's extra wide because it's denim shirting. But I did not reduce the amount you need. I've still given you 30 centimetres. 2 reasons. I'll be honest, the denim's a little bit cheaper than the Liberty, even though it's extra wide, so it all evens out the same price-wise as buying standard width fabric. The other reason is because of the dimensions that you need to cut. Even though it's longer, I still need you to have that width. So you've got a little bonus with this kit because there is going to be a lovely bit of leftover denim for you. And if it was me, I'd be making myself a little zip purse, maybe grabbing an extra red zip when you're purchasing your kit, and then you can use your leftovers, and you'll have a little bit of the Liberty left over as well, and you can make a cute, maybe about this size. If we come down a bit. You're all beautiful. You're all back. Thank you. Yes, Diana. Yeah, sorry, Diana. Yes, I'm back, and everyone needs to know we are all very excited because I received an email from Diana, which we have not replied to yet. Sorry, Diana. But Melba, you know, there's some things you say you never think you're going to say. Melba will be available shortly in Costa Rica. Bragging rights. I'm sorry. Not just America, not just Canada, not just Spain, not just all of UK with Natasha, now Costa Rica. If I have to fly it there myself, Diana, oh, wouldn't that be a shame? If it costs the same to fly it there myself economy as air freight, I'll just bring it. I'll just bring it. If we go about that size for a little purse, you'll have that much left over. Red zip, a few little extra octagons. That would be really cute. So that's in there. Now, you've also got, of course, your one zip for your satchel. You have a little piece of interfacing for your front flap. You've got your 2 pre-cut pieces for the front and back of your bag. That's why it's lovely and perky, because it's got rubber foam batting in it. And then you've also got what you need in terms of pellin to do around the edges. This is an all-in-one base and sides for your assembly techniques, and for your flap and for your overlaid pocket on the front. So that's all in there. Then you've also got, of course, your strap. So if I pull this out for you, that is your beautiful strap. So that when you get it, it will be quite short because it's all being doubled up as far as it can with the buckle, and then it's just like any other one. You're just going to slowly work it out and get it, because it's brand new. You'll be able to make it extra long and to any length that you want. You've got your 2 little clips on the end. I feel like I'm doing these. Take your clips around your waist, because I'm on the plane now going to Costa Rica. Clip, pull, isn't that how it goes? Pull on your toggle, blow your whistle. And then you've got your 2 little D clips as well, which actually get sewn in to the top rim on your bag. Okay, so all of it's in there. All you need to add is some time and some cotton. Everything else you need is in the kit. And as I said, it doesn't always work for everyone. Everyone's got different preferences on what they would like in terms of perkiness in their batting, or they've got some left over that they're using up. But in this particular case, we just decided, because you do need so many different things, that we'd put them all together. I'm going to leave those out because I want to show you the other one. Today really is, and not just because we ended up starting really late, today is part 1 of a 2-part series. I'm going to come back on oh, you're all hilarious. Yes, designing Costa Rican designs based on ox cart decorations are a thing. That is a thing that may happen one day. Part 1, because I want to come back on Friday night, and which is not that far away, and come back and talk about where I'm up to with these satchels and things again, and a couple of other bits I want to go with them. And then we will actually have the pattern published and ready for the kits to send out. So when we come back on Friday night, just for those that haven't seen us before, I'm going to run you through ruched flowers again. I've got it all. There is a section on my YouTube channel, on the Lisa Chandler YouTube channel, all about ruching. But I will come back and do it again on Friday night with another little bag that's just about finished off. Okay, so this is the other one that we now have as a kit. So with, I think Steve said he's done 6 of those. Steve, I've popped up, I think, 6 or 8 of these today. It's going to kill me because we spent all morning struggling with internet. It wasn't just the sound the last minute. We've had problems all day, so nothing has been set up as neatly and perfectly admin wise as it should be. It's going to kill me. But I've put these kits up. I love this, and it's actually been sitting, I will confess, for a little while in my studio. Oh, chopped his top off there. He's got his ruche flower up there. All of the inside is done in the teal. Now, this is still sitting here waiting for embellishment on the back because I couldn't make up my mind. What we will do on Friday night, how do we all feel about Friday night? If you're going out, again, you can watch it Saturday morning in bed. But, look, it's not on yet because I need it to show you. Okay, so that's our little ruched flower. You know I love doing these. I had it over here, and then I had it over here, and then I had it here, and it ended up going on there, and that's how I took the photo. Now I thought about popping one on the back as well. Someone said something really funny. Watching from the view in Melbourne. Oh, nice, Sally. That's really nice. Don't know, I would love a Costa Rican party. That would be really good. Spanish Melba design. So that is not so funny, Jane. That is happening. That is going to happen. Oh, Catherine's making it to take to Fiji. Fantastic. All right, so that's going on there. Now on the back, that flower is too big. So what I decided to do is I'm still putting in the kit the Epiplex templates. Margaret, I'm a bit jealous. Margaret Upston from Margaret's Fabrics, Soiree fame, is setting up today at Australian Quilt Convention. She's next to my friend Danny from Epiplex. I'm a bit jealous. But jealous and excited because her team back in Nowra are finishing off a new, see my hand, a new 3D design for the next soiree. So yeah, Danny's not there, but her team are getting it all together at the moment. All right, on the back panel, no, you can't see that way. Let's go back here. I am still going to do a little row of octagons on the back. So that's what I'm putting on here, and with my leftover fabric from making my bag. Okay, so I did cut a strip from the bolt. Yes, I did, but you'll have bits left over, and it's going to be a case of just choosing a nice little bit. Just use my little, oh, I popped the Creative Grids rulers under today's as well, not to really hone that in too much on you, but just a friendly reminder, if you didn't end up grabbing one the other day and you're going, oh, that's right, Lisa said I have to be very, very careful and I need a really nice fine super grip ruler. I've popped them under today's banner so you can find them again. Do you have a tutorial for some of these bags? Ah, Liz, hello and welcome to Chandler's Cottage Facebook page. Do we have a tutorial? Look, have a look. There's quite a bit on bags on the Lisa Chandler YouTube channel, so LEESA, under the section called Craft and Cook, that wonderful little now magical time that we look back on during COVID when we had time to spend a day filming because we were in lockdown. What do you reckon? About there? I'm trying to fussy cut these. Okay. So that's going to be my 3 that are going to go on my bag. Now, we've talked about this before, I know, but just a little reminder as well. With these, be a little bit mindful that we're using our plastic templates and we're using super so-line glue sticks. And they do stick really, really well. So when I'm using the glue, I know a few, and Danny, and I've spoken about it as well. These are special little octagons that we have made just for us that are destined for many exciting things. They're a little bit of a different shape. They're not equilateral. To get all technical on you. All right, so if you're using papers or you're using the ones made of that wash away stuff that you can leave in, like Helen Stubbings and things, then you can glue yourself silly and keep going. But if you are going to reuse them, I would recommend what I love doing, which is still to tack them over, because then it's not going to be too hard to get them out. I've just used a little bit of glue in the middle to hold them in place while I sew them. Now, blast from the past, this is my original Masterpiece, Superior Threads Masterpiece Thread Donut. So we used to have these before we moved over to the lovely glass box ones. In Phil moving back in before he moves to Queensland, everyone knows Phil's moved back in, he's moving to Queensland. So no secrets in this house. I had some threads in drawers in Phil's room, and so I did what's in here, I'll move this out. Threads, I've got threads in my studio next door. I had a plethora of threads, and I'm actually going to bundle them up and I'm going to sell them, and they're not going to be sold to you as new stock. I'm actually going to sell off what I would call some of my thread stash, because I have duplicates of colours and I have too many, and I will only do that with you on Facebook and pop them up short term on the on the website, but because I need to sort of be able to talk you through it, not just post them on Facebook or something. It's just going to sort of be between you and me. Anyway, I found, and I must have been in one of those moods where no, they're mine. I stashed 3 full donuts. Why? I don't know. Look. Brand spanking new, never been used. So the difference between these and the case ones are these are on cardboard and they come in the donut. The new ones come in the plastic case and they're on plastic bobbins. But there's a lot more in these. These have 35 compared to 25 in the other ones. So I think these used to retail for a whopping $65–70. The new ones that we have now are 55, and that's way below what I'm supposed to be charging. I've just got 3 of these 3 in front of me, and I've popped them up for 45. So if you don't have one yet, or you want an extra one, or there's extra colours in here that you can substitute into your plastic cases, once you run out, they are up. So I'm just really glad I remembered that, because I popped them in there before everything started going pear-shaped. So I'm just going to pull out a bit of thread. I just want to show you this, because I'd be horrified if some of you, and I know there's new girls watching today, I would be absolutely horrified if you just went silly with the glue and then you couldn't get it out again. Just get our thread on. Yeah, so back to bag construction, Liz. Please have a look at my YouTube channel. There are a couple in there. A few of the girls on A Quilter's Life on my online club have asked me to go through each of the design techniques sort of in details, a little bit of a design workshop, and I think that is a fantastic idea. Oops. Tonight I'm finishing off and working on our little dandelion bag that we were making, or we started the other day. Okay. Can you see that okay? So you're just going to fold over, just normal, like you would on papers, just fold over and just a little double back stitch. So I've popped this kit up. You cannot see the back panel, and now you know why. Because it's not finished. So I'm going to finish it off. Also in the kit for, obviously in the kit for this one, which is called a Japanese swing satchel, there's a little extra instruction sheet that we've put together for you on how to do the ruched flower. So you've already got the instructions in there for doing the English paper piecing row. Yeah, Sharon, she does, and half of them are mine, aren't they? She does them all on the show. All right. Okay, nearly round. Just so you can see. See, it's pretty quick. You'll get quick. This is the first one. So I'll do these other two, and they will sit either side. I will whip stitch them together, and then I shall pop them as a little row onto the back here. They'll go across there. I think they'll be quite nice. I could do the 4-5, but I've decided I'll just do 3. So they'll go across there. So with this kit, you've got the same deal in terms of all of that batting, the violin, the pellin, that's all there. This time round, you've got your black handle or your black shoulder strap, like this one on here. You've also got what we're calling a 1/2 meter triangle. So it is, we take a fat quarter, sorry, a 1/4 meter triangle. We take a fat quarter and we cut it on the diagonal right across. So you get a triangle of this gorgeous black oriental print. It's a very, very fine little one of those new Tadashi ones that only came in the last couple of, last week, I think. Last week it came in. So you're going to use that to cut yourself a 2-inch strip on the bias, so on that cross cut that we've already done, and use that to make your ruched flower. So we'll go through that Friday night as well on how to do these, because there's another one I want to show you on Friday night. Then also in the kit, so you're going to have your black handle. You're going to have 30 centimeters of this beautiful print, which is the one that I've used in the bag. Now when you have a look at the size of this print, you can actually see that your bag might come up a little bit different, but you're also going to have room to move, so you can go through and cut little different bits for the front and the back, and you know, a bit of a little semi-fussy cut to get a really nice bag that's unique to you. Is that a good plug? That's how you say unique to you. What? Oh yeah, there's one lemur left. This little lemur is for the Epilepsy Foundation, and he's the only one left. If he doesn't find a home, I'm finding him one tomorrow. So just put lemur, Lemur. I don't think I tagged him. He's just hanging. He's waiting for a home. Now this is beautiful. There's drill and there's drill, and this is stunning. Beautiful tealy blue drill. I have not put this up by the meter yet because I'm fearful of running out when we make up these new kits. So Steve and I are going to cut these first, and then we'll go through and see if we've got any left we can sell by the yard. With this kit, you are actually going to get 50 centimeters, and that's because, like most drills, it only comes 90 centimeters wide. So I'm going to give you that extra so you can cut that first width and cross cut it down into different sections, and then you've got extra to use for your it'll probably be your internal pocket linings and the gusset that goes right round the bag on the inside. So we'll give you 50 of this, and then that evens it all out price wise as well. The thing about this kit is it is actually extra value because you're getting that extra fabric as well to do your ruched flowers, and I suspect also with that, like the denim, you're going to have enough of that left to make yourself a little purse. So you'll have leftovers, and you can reuse your plastic templates. Oh wait, there's one. Oh wait, there's more. This first sample that we made has a standard birch dress zip in it. We just grabbed one. We didn't stop and think. We just didn't stop and think. So what we're doing, what Steve's doing, is we're actually giving you the special one. So you're getting a special cut textile pantry, which is us, textile pantry, super gorgeous zip with your pull. So it's just going to be that little bit, a little bit swisher on the back, and you're going to have that little dingle dangle. You can have that down there. So that's what we're going to use for these kits. If you go, no, I just want a plain plastic black one, just put it in the note on your kit and we will swap it over for you. But we just wanted to make it a bit more special. I think too, it really does add to it because there's metallic in the gold flower. There's not metallic in the print, but you have got the metallic gold, of course, on your clips and D-rings. So this will balance out the back really nicely. Mine doesn't have the gold. Mine doesn't have the gold. Right, that's that. So they are those two kits. Now, Liz, again, what you said, absolutely, we should really do a full demo. The thing is, it takes a long time, and I've always got so much to get through in a Facebook show. Let me see what we can do, because, you know, there will be, I'm sure, a YouTube opportunity coming up where we can do that. It's a nice bag. Nothing goes with what I'm wearing today. Oh, actually, there is stuff that goes with what I'm wearing, but it's just a nice size, isn't it? Lovely. Okay. That was sort of the most recent bag that we had designed before this one. Now this one is, Kristen, one big mega licorice or sort. And this is, careful, there's a piece of fabric in your blouse. There's a piece of fabric. Oh, thanks. I love live stuff. Thanks. Have a look at this. Check out those teeny weeny pin tucks. That is not sashing, they are pin tucks. Right, let's do a tour. Let's go round. Oh, there you go. Fussy duck medallion. Actual back of panel, back behind pocket. Paste. You've got a little bit more of that there. And then there's your whole side there. So we have fussy cut this bit up here. We fussy cut these. On the back, we've got a medallion there, peeking up like a little rainbow, like the sun coming up. It's very Woodstock, isn't it? Very, 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 very the real thing. I can hear all the music you could play if I did a little clip reel for Instagram. Full medallion fussy cut on the front, and then another one revealed underneath with a big wide pocket here. So this is, I had a lot of fun. And again, we're coming back on Friday night and we're going to keep going with this whole concept, but I want to start you off on the techniques and the little tricks that I use to get there with this one. First thing is, we do not piece this bit with whatever they are, 9-10 inch strips, and then we do not then do these separately, and then we do not do these all separately. We paste them all in one great big long paste, and then we chop it up as we wish to use it. So that did take a little bit of time. It took a good conversation with Margaret. It took a great conversation with Karen Stiles. There was several other conversations that I managed to have with people who were not offended that I'm sewing at the sewing machine at the same time to talking to them on the phone. So it took a little while, but I got there. So this bag as well, I'm trying to set this up a little bit like a pack of licorice all sorts, or pick and mix. It's a pick and mix at Darrell. Oh, that's a flashback, isn't it? Oh, Block Arcade, Melbourne. Okay, pick and mix, because a lot of you, yes, it is there as a whole kit. You can just buy the whole shebang. It's up there ready to go. Stephen, do not say a word about the kit. You're not back till tomorrow morning. I will have it sorted by then, but I know what it weighs and I know what it costs and I know what goes in it. and I took the stock off. Sorry, I just have to do that for Steve in case he's watching. Because what happens when we do a kit, you have to take that stock out of what's on a bolt and allocate it to the kits. And if you don't, you get in a lot of trouble with Steve. It has in the kit one repeat of Paula's panels, which you can see up here. It has this pack here, which is a little customized pack that I have done of 7 4-inch strips. You can see that's what I've used on here. Now, that is in the kit, plus the panel, plus black, plus the lining. But I have split it, I've put stuff out there and split it up for you as well, because I know a lot of you have already bought your panels, and therefore you don't need to buy your panels. So if you have, you can just go in and buy your pre-cut pack. And if you do, grab also 1/2 meter of Black Magic Black, because I've popped that up there today. Now we're going to talk about what fabrics are really suitable to use for the lining, and I'll show you what I've used in mine, and I've got some other examples up here for you, because I wanted you, if you haven't got anything, I want you to just be able to grab a kit. But if you've already got little bits and pieces, I thought, you might have picked up some of the paisley in the sale and pre-cuts or anything. I wanted you to go, oh, okay, I've already got that, so I just need 1/2 meter of Black Magic and the little pre-cut pack, or perhaps a different fabric. So I'll show you what else I've got that goes with them. Now, before I show you the other fabrics, I think it's really important just to give you a look at how I cut them, because then you can kind of visualize what you might like or what you might need. I couldn't help myself. I've put the pink tassels up. I forgot to put a loop in here. There's loops on our swing satchel, but so cute. All you've got to do is just put a little extra loop, for, 4 thicknesses, maybe cut 2 by 3 and fold it over twice, top stitch it, and just set a loop into that top seam, and then you can have your very, very funky, I will hang off that, won't it? You can clip on your very, very funky hot pink tassels. I know. I'm very self-conscious now. I look like a licorice all sort. Okay. Right, so I want to show you how this works. What do we use? Oh, no, not that one. There's too many. What do we use? All right, let's use a bit of this. This is Gelato 302. It may be tagged, it may not, I can't remember. Look at that gorgeous thing. Look at it. So this is where you go, what am I going to do? Because, and I've got little bits here that are left over that Friday night we're going to make into purses. So with my leftover pre-pieced bit, I'm going to make myself some little zipper purses. So that's Friday to look forward to. But here's the thing. They run this way on my front pocket. So you've got a couple of choices here if you decide to buy an ombre to play with yours instead of the pre-cut pack. And if you've already got your panels, you might like to do this. See what's going on here? If I cut my strips this way, so instead of having 7, well, it's actually 14 all up, but instead of cutting my 14 strips that way, or if I do cut them that way, then I'm going to maybe be able to turn my ombre around so that some goes one way and some goes the other, or I can stagger it, or I can mess with it. That's what I can do. But the other thing that I could also do is to buy the 1/2 meter, or buy a meter would be heaps, but buy enough that I can cut that way. And then I'm going to get all those different colours running through. So when it sits on the pocket, they're going to change, which would be very cool. So that's one option. And let me show you another one. There's another one here that I love. Hang on. Yeah, it was this one. this beautiful thing. Yeah. Okay. So this is your other option here, is to buy one like this. And again, it's going to, oh, sorry about the creases, they're free, complimentary. You can cut this way and they're going to stagger across. And you have all this different colour stuff going on. So when you actually come down and cross cut this fabric, because it's all different colours, it's going to look different here to here and to these, because you're actually working up this. If you imagine you're working your way from selvage to selvage, so this set here, even though it's all strip pieced together, is going to be different to this set. That's going to be very, very cool. Same with the ombres. So you can go that way, or buy 1/2 metre, which will be enough. You might need to cut it down into 2 groups, but if you go the other way, they're going to go that way, and they're going to change like a rainbow across. Lots and lots of options for you. I'm going to cut a bit from this one, just so we can get started. Just going to freestyle cut that off. Pop that down. Now, what we were talking about the other day, does it look like it does need an iron, doesn't it? We better just do it, just so it behaves itself when I go to cut. I want it nice and flat. What we were talking about the other day is a nice, super accurate cut, and it's a really narrow cut. So maybe a bit of water. Hey, have you all got one of these? I found one in my cupboard. I think Churchy may have purchased it, or Kate Mara gave it to me. Someone did. And I have neglected it, and I love it. And there's another good reason to use it. I'll show you in a tick. Just give that an iron out. We never want to iron, do we, at the start? It's like, just want to go, just want to cut, just want to get started. Okay. Move that out of the way. Pop that down there. Right. Now, usually we'd put a big fat long ruler on there, a big slippery tip one, and we would try and cut straight all the way up. We're not going to do it. We are going to fold. I know, freaking you out just a little bit. Now, when I do this, I will make sure that I've got one line down here, or the fold lines up with one of the lines on my mat, and it also lines up at the top. I'm not worried about the selvage bits. I want this fold to be straight. Then I know that when I come to cut, even with it folded double over, it's going to be straight. So this is what we were talking about the other day, and a lot of you grabbed one, and I'm very, very happy you did, because I now know you are going to be cutting nice and safe. Please excuse the left-handedness. So doesn't move. And these are 1.5 wide. Which is exactly what my ruler is. Okay, so I can keep going with that piece, but look at that. Isn't it beautiful? It's lovely. It's a change colour all the way. So now you can see that depending on where I cut, it's all different. Depending on where I cut down my pre-pieced panel we're going to make, I might have this here, or I might have this bit here, and then I'll have a different section of it on the back. So they'll all match, but they'll all look slightly different. So please have a look through at the ombres. I've tagged a lot for today, and also these ones are called Gradations, and there are 3 different ones. There's some really super bright ones. This, I'll admit, is a good one for me to chop a bit out of, because I know I've got an extra bolt, because we're actually going to use it to do a autumn leaf wreath. I know autumn's finishing now, but I like those leaves all year round. And Mum will be going, it's an Acer dissectum. She'll get all scientific and plants on me. So that's fine. Okay, so that's that piece. Now, we also need, I'm just going to pull down our bag, we need some black. So I need to disassemble my stand a bit. I can't believe it's AQC week. It's actually happening after 3 years. Unbelievable. And it's not here in Melbourne. Even worse, it's not here. So for those of you that are in Brisbane, if you are going to AQC this week, please, as a Chandler's Cottage representative, please go and check on Margaret at Margaret's Fabrics and Ralph for me, and give them our love. Check on Ralph because he hurt his shoulder. He's up there in a sling. And if you are interested in us doing a Queensland soiree, can you please tell Margaret? Because I need one. I need one. Phil's moving to Brisbane. I need a soiree in Brisbane so I can go and see him. Right, now, also for this you're going to need, you hate it when I do this, don't you? Everyone does. You're going to need to cut some super duper fine little pieces of black, or whatever colour you decide to use for your pin tucks. And again, this is where it becomes super important to have a good grip ruler. These are, you ready? 3/4 of an inch. You cannot make an omelette without cracking eggs. Is that the line? That, my friends, is all we need. I'll cut one more. Miss Ginny decided that they were hers because anything usually that is that thin is fair game. But no. Alright. What's going to happen is these are going to get pressed and they're going to get sandwiched in between these gorgeous things. So for the purpose of the demo, we don't need to have them the full width, but usually, well, sorry, in the pattern, you'll be doing this. This will be pressed and it's going to be sandwiched in between full width of bolt, so 42, 44 inches wide. It's going to get sandwiched in between. And you can see the way that I'm holding that up, I've actually turned around one of the strips off the gradation fabric, so I didn't touch the gin, I promise. So I'm going to get, I'm going to get this different effect all the way through. I can have them all the same or I can change them. And we are actually going to piece 14 strips of your fabric or fabrics across, and in between you are going to have 13 little pin tucks. Then you're going to have this big long piece that's all this big pinstripe thing, and you'll be going, oh, jacket, cushion, what am I going to do with it? Because then you'll get this, you'll see the potential to use it for lots of different things. Drop dead gorgeous table runner, by the way, could also be achieved. So then when it's done, you'll come through and you'll cut off your pockets and the things that you need to create the bag. But the non-enviable little task that you need to do in between is press your pin tucks. And please do not, well, you can look, you can do it in front of the television, but I don't want you looking at the television too much. Anne is here from the UK. Thanks, Anne. It's lovely to see you. Hello, Robin. Shirley's in. Have to make both, but yeah, Kerry's here as well. Yes, well, and do you watch Natasha then? Because I've got to watch Natasha tonight again, because she's trying to get all my fabric through customs. So she needs a sympathy vote, and I need to watch tonight. All right. So television is fine, but you have to watch your fingers. I think the best thing to do is to use a dry iron and a water spray, because usually we burn our fingers, and I must admit I'm getting to the point where I have nothing left in my fingers, but we burn our fingers not on the iron itself, but on the steam at the front of the iron as it comes out. That's where the damage is done. So if we work with a dry iron, or please tell me it's dry, I'm not going to check it. If you work with a dry iron and you keep your fingers about an inch ahead, you're not going to burn your fingers. But it's usually the steam that comes out this end that gets us and, you know, fills the swear jar. If you find that you're using a fabric that does need a little bit of persuasion, try it. Oh, nice. Fizzle, fizzle, fizzle. Try it with a little bit of water first. I've always been a starch girl. I'm shocking. You know, I've got the crisp out, I've got the Fabulon. Always I have been one. And then recently we've been using a lot based on what we're doing. So there's been a couple of incidences where we have transferred burnt starch into fabric. So it's never really happened before. And I'm thinking, okay, do we really, Lisa, do you really need all of that aerosol stuff going on into the air, down my throat, up my nose? I know there's a lot of really nice, more natural ones out there as well, but for me, this is working really, really well just with the water. When we're doing needle turn applique and we're talking about getting around little tight internal curves and points, the best thing to use is just a little container with a cotton bud. If you're in America, Yolanda, a Q-tip, and just wet that little V, and it changes the consistency and how the threads behave. So if you've got little wayward threads that are starting to come adrift, it just makes them obedient, and it's much easier to push them underneath. So look how thin it is now. So what's that, 3/8? Oh, teeny weeny, teeny weeny. All right, now we need to get that between these two on the sewing machine. Now I'm hoping, here we go. Look, this did work today. I actually got the cameras all set up good. I found the right knee lift. Hallelujah. It feels like I've got 5 of the things. All right. So we talked briefly the other day about accurate 1/4 inch seam. So I hope you've had a chance to go off and just have a little bit of a look, do a little bit of research with your own machine to see where you're at with your 1/4 inch seam. This panel is going to test you. And so when you, why are you not coming down? When you, oh come on, I've done so much. Let me just get that out of there. Oh, that's why. Tension. Foot was down. When you come to paste fine stuff like this, and I'm getting you to piece 14 strips across, you are really going to know if you've got an accurate 1/4 inch seam or not. Here is my suggestion to you. If you are a little bit unsure about your 1/4 inch seam, I would do a little bit of a test first. Even if you've just got some scrap fabric, you don't have to do the whole 14. Do about 7. See where you're at. It should measure 7.5. If it's a little bit over, that's fine. Mine was actually a little bit over because I pasted mine on my what I pasted on a 570, and I had on the 1/4 inch foot for a dual feed, and it's a very scant 1/4 inch, so I had a bit left over. That's fine. I trimmed it off. If you are under though, what you will probably want to do is when you cut those 2 strips that are going to go on the outside, you need to see what I'm talking about, don't you? On those 2 strips that are on the outer edges of your pocket. So for me here, this blue and this green over on this side, if you think it's consistent and you know it's a generous 1/4 inch seam, instead of cutting these 1.5, cut them 1 3/4 or 2. Just these 2. You've got enough fabric to do it because you're getting 4 inches. You only need 3. Just cut them a little bit bigger so that if you haven't quite got out to that 14.5, you've got a little bit of extra leeway on the outer edges of your panels and your pockets. All right, that you can mess with. So do that for me, and then you'll be just a little bit better off, I think. Now, when we come to pacing really, really fine stuff like this as well, it is a big decision whether to pin or not to pin, and I'll explain that in a tick also. Here we are, got my plate, I've got my 1/4 inch mark on my stitch plate down here that I can use, and I've got 2 feet here just as examples. So for all of you that know, up until very recently, I was a beloved, I wasn't beloved, I love my beloved Baninas, a Banina girls, and I still am, so I just always refer to these because it's what I've got here. Your number 37 foot is your go-to foot. You may also have, as we talked about the other day, a number 57. This is the one I was talking about that's got the little hinge guide on the side. These are fantastic because they will, if you need them, go up and over pins. So they're super good too. I'm throwing on my 37. I know it's really good. It's going to behave beautifully, and that's all fine. The other thing that you might want to think about, depending on your machine, is because we're essentially going through 4 layers of fabric, you may wish to increase your foot pressure. So your actual foot pressure, how hard your foot presses down in your fabric. On a computerized Banana, sort of from a 475 up, you've got you can actually change that on your machine. You've either got a dial over on the side of your machine, but if you go up to the 5 and the 7 series, you can digitally change it on your screen. So on the side for the 4s, and on the screen for the 5s, 7s, 8s. Zip that there. And get my other one and sandwich it in between. So I've got my raw edges of my pin tuck sitting over the raw edge of one of my strips. I'm going to pop the other one over the top. If you have a dual feed machine that's got extra wide feed dogs here, please pop on your straight stitch plate, because you're going to be sewing super close to the edge, and you're going to need that to make sure that you get a really nice accurate stitch and control, and of course you'll need to engage your dual feed. Right, so we're on, and I've got right up against the edge of this foot. Now, as the foot pressure, as I said, might want to go down, might want to go up just a little bit if you can, because you've got 4 thicknesses and they're all going to move around. On this machine, I choose not. Heavens, that sounds very lecturer, doesn't it? I don't pin. These fabrics are great. I trust them explicitly. They are not moving around too much. They're not slippery. I increase my stitch length to about 3, and off I go. Now, if you do wish to pin, I'll just turn it so you can have a look. When we're doing this sort of stuff, we really are, it's like dressmaking. It's like putting in that little pin tuck, little Chanel thing all going on in this seam here with that little pin tuck going in. If I was to pin, I haven't got any pins in here. I can't believe it. Oh, yes I do. Yes I do. Yes I do. Yes I do. There we go. Got 2 or 3 up here. Right, if we pin like a patchworker, which for me is that way, so that all my pieces I'm putting together don't slip and slide, then I'm still going to get movement this way. And because we're putting in this really narrow pin tuck, I actually think, folks, we're going to do it like a dressmaker, which I haven't done for a long time, and I'm going to run my pin that way instead, and then that's going to stop all 3 of them from shifting sidewards. So if you are going to pin, I think for this particular task, if you're not matching up seams or anything, there's no intersections or anything, have a go at doing it this way. Of course, the other thing is that if you love your wonder clips, then a wonder clip is going to be, that's going to be your best option as well, and you'll use them a lot in the construction of this bag. So you'll just pop your pin on, and that's going to stop everything moving in the one go. All right, I'm going to whiz down here a bit. Just so we can have a look at cross-cutting. And also pressing, because pressing is going to be a big key to how well your piece sections on your bag sit. My original intention, as I said, was to remake the bag in the blue for part 2 on Friday night. But as there are only about 4 panels left, I'm sure if you put your business hat on right now, you'd say, Lisa, it's not worth you making one if all of the panels are nearly gone. So I'm going to show you the fabrics that I think would work really, really well with the blue ones. And then I'm going to do quite a different coloured bag again to do the demo. And if you have a look at what I've tagged on today's banner, it's going to be a little bit of a giveaway. All right, that'll do us. Okay. Gee, that machine's running better. Now I've actually given it a clean and an oil. Sorry, my phone's going flat. I didn't think it had been that long since I had cleaned it. And you know the sure way to know that things are going to be a bit rough inside the machine is how dirty it is on the outside of the machine. If you just run your hand under that little platform bit that sits underneath your tray, if that comes out covered in fluff, if that's what's on the outside, think about what's on the inside. And if your foot, my 97 on my 570 was covered in all the little nooks and crannies and pieces covered in fluff, and I went, oh heavens, if that's there. Yep, sure enough, got in there, and yeah, there was a lot in there. Are you like me? I always clean my... It's like Mum's coming tomorrow and she's going to help me with pantry. We've done the pantry with the fridge and stuff, and I clean before she gets here. Do we all do that? But I will clean mine before it goes to Tim, or I'll never hear the end of it. Tim is back. Diana, go to bed. You go to bed. Tim's back, I think, this weekend. Where's that one? Tim's back this weekend. As I said, we're doing a favour for him at the moment. He's going to be in catch-up mode. So if you do need your machine serviced, email me and I'm doing a consolidated list for him. I've already got a few down and we have spoken, and he said that would be fantastic if we would do that for him. So that's what's on the go at the moment. Okay, I'm setting this seam first. Just giving a little set. There we go. This is kind of reminiscent of what we started with our little pleated bags that we were making with our Liberty fabrics, isn't it? So now that that's set, I'm going to push up, and that will reveal my gorgeous little teeny weeny pin tuck. It is so little that it's not like my pin tuck bags or anything where you're going to have to think about which way it's going to go. It can go in either direction. I'm quite sure on my bag some of them go to the left and some go to the right. A bit like the recent federal election, really, isn't it? Some to the left. Okay. If you see that your if it looks like your pin tuck is a little bit uneven in some spots, before you start deciding if you're going to unpick or leave it, and I would always say leave it because it's so small, just give this a little bit of a push apart. I found with me it wasn't actually my pin tuck that was uneven, I just hadn't got right in there and fully opened out the seams yet. Okay. There we go. It's in there. It's in there. So you can just visualize that I would then go through and pop another pin tuck in here. So depending on where it's all cut from, you're just going to have, I'll go that way, maybe up that way. You'd have another piece of black in here, and you're just going to have this multicolored rainbow effect going on if you chose to cut right across the bolt. If you chose to grab a chunk and cut the other way, then you're going to get this slow gradation of colour going on, which is what the fabric is called. So they're not hard to do. I just want you to take your time. I want you to cut very, very carefully and watch your fingers with both cutting and also with pressing with your iron. I think a dry iron with water is going to be better, just so you don't hurt your fingers as you do it. So I'm going to have a play with the blue. I actually have a piece of blue, and it's because it came from the start of the bolt, and one of the medallions is kind of chopped off on one end. Now, if you have ordered panels and you've got them coming through from us, when you get them, lots of things to think about. I clean around my bone. Curve in your cut. I hand cut them because they're digitally printed, so I don't quite understand it compared to mine, but I wanted to make sure that all of you had enough room around. They go that way. See what I mean? Through here, I wanted to make sure that you had enough seam allowance and black background in between. So even though it may look a little bit crooked, when you actually iron it out, you'll see what I've done. I've made sure that you've got room to fussy cut around them all, no matter what you've decided to do with it. You've got the 60 centimetres, but this line here may not be completely straight. I think it was just the way that the fabric was woven onto the bolt, a little bit of a distortion in the weft, which we've talked about before. Weave in the weave that was spoken about before. But if you get a slight, that was me, so I didn't chop off your medallions. That's what I was doing. Okay, so the one that we had up on the wall, we've got this gorgeous thing, and you know, the colours are just, they amaze me. They absolutely amaze me, because there's so much transition in them, yet there's not that much shading going on like my stuff. So I really have had to get my head around it. And a fabric. Oh, I put these out. There's only 2 of these left. They're the Sally Kelly and Friends ones. Steve is refusing to cut them again. I totally get it, even with his new cutter. But can you imagine? Oh, you'd have so much variety to do this tote with one of those. If you've already got your Sally Kelly feature floral, and if you don't, you put in Sally Kelly, and you will see there's 2 there. That with this would be yummy. Sorry, got sidetracked. All right, now, oh, yeah. See, if you've got one of these, one of the rainbow packs, they're our most popular pre-cut pack at the moment for applique essentials. There's a lot of fun to be had in there with this one. Or with this one. They both go. It's weird fabric. It's absolutely weird fabric. There's Sally Kelly. Look at that. I can't believe it. I just could not believe it. Same colours in these. So if you've got this, you could do all your pin tucks with this. Sorry, all of your panels between your black pin tucks with this. Look, 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 look. I cannot believe that they match. It's just it's a miracle. And then lining, what's this? This is 307. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. That just freaks me out. Freaks me out no end. I pulled out some other ones to show you that sort of take you in a different direction. That would be really good for lining. And I love this. This is one of our Northcote shimmers. This is Limelight. So this is this yellowy green. So Limelight brings up all of that. I'm glad you can't see what I'm doing. I've just completely trashed the stand. There's another one here called, aptly, Cream Soda. And it's the paler of the yellows that's down through in here. It's very, very clever. Very, very clever. So, again, that's why I didn't want to kit everything up, because some of you have already got the panels, so you can have a look through. If you've got any questions about what colours match where and when, just let me know, and I can just send you an email. That's perfectly fine. Love the bag, and the fabric is fabulous. Hello, Donna. How are you this morning? Now, maybe if I just, I'm very conscious of my licorice all sort jacket and my microphone up my tush at the back. I'm just going to hold these up for you so you can see. This is BQS. So that's going to pull up all of the blues and go into a lovely lime green that's going to complement really nicely across that. But look, it goes over here as well. It's not very often I get freaked out by a fabric, but this does. This is Northcote Shimmer. I've tagged this for you as well. This is Deep Blue Sea. So I do like that. If you really, really are stretched and you really, really want me to come up with a pack for you to go with these, if you've got them, yeah, of course. Look at that. Yeah. Yummy. That teal drill goes as well. I'm going to have to get those kits cut and pop it up. What about this guy? This is good. See, look. Look at all those. Wow. Okay, this one in particular, I think. I'll put this back. So this is one of those designer Northcote shimmers. I had so much fun putting a stand together. You see I put up my Aussie butterflies too, because they actually go with the bright panel, which is just funny. There you go. See? Ooh. So that's beautiful as well. So you can make all of this strip piecing as simple or as complicated as you want. I've gone halfway. I've used 7 fabrics because you need 14 strips. You could do 14 different fabrics. You could make it a strippy quilt. It could be a strippy scrappy bag. You could do that. You could just use the pattern as templates for the size of the pockets and the panels and the flap, and use anything. You don't even have to do all of that piecing if you don't want to. It's just a good big bag to use. The flutterbies, the butterflies, do go really well with this medallion, and I, given time again, lining. I don't mind a dark lining, that's just me. But the same with the bag, you could have the flap with just one of the big butterflies straight in the center, and that would work as well. So it is what I call a box bag too, because it is the same height. It's the same height as it is wide, and so it just looks like it's wider here. It's not finished yet. Should I tell you why? It looks like it's wider because I've squished it at the top. I went full on lining. And this is the lining that I'm going to put in the kits. Again, if you would prefer a pink in yours, if you would prefer a blue, an orange, you just have a yellow, just tell me and I will change your ombre over for another ombre. And you know, really you can chop and change. So I keep looking at the screen to make sure that you can see what I'm looking at. You can chop and change where you put your cut down or your fussy cut down medallions. So I chose this one for the front. There's a lot of green and yellow going on the outer of this, so that is why I have chosen this ombre. However, this little one here, and I did end up chopping him a bit at the top, but that's easy fixed. He's more pink purple, so you might decide you'd like a pink purple lining, and we can do that. And then there's the one on the back that's orange and yellow, so you can mess around and work with whatever you want to in terms of colour. The kit is not complete, and let me tell you why. Because there were some technical issues. I did not get to do that, sit down on the couch for half an hour and sew a magnetic clasp on this afternoon. So also in my kit, in your kit, you are going to get one of these magnetic snaps. And if Steve's watching, no, I haven't taken them out of wholesale textile pantry yet. I will. Because we could just do the old magnetic snap inside, but this just, to me, just makes it super special. Just super special. I'm going to aim it up so that most of the buckle is actually sitting on the bag flap. This is going to do two things. I'm going to get a more professional look to the finish of the bag, but also, again, there's no metallic on Paula's fabric. But I've got metallic down here, so I want to bring just a little bit of that metallic up onto the flap. So I've got my little gold on here, you know, and that sort of, I'm trying not to burn myself on that iron that's still on. That also goes with the whole concept of the tassels. I've tagged the deep pink ones, but if you put the word in tassel, they will, I'm sure, all come up. We've got lots of different colours. But this is the other thing about just about adding this on up here, I think up here, because, and I haven't put them in the kit too because there's lime green ones, there's purple ones, you know, you're going to want to choose your favorite color. You actually get two in a pack, but this is also going to bring more metallic if you wanted to up towards the top. Now I've already got out as well bright green embroidery thread to sew on that there, so even though I'm hiding a bit of the green on my flap, I'm still going to have a bit of green showing through in the holes as I sew it on. So these come with the perforated holes in them. They're already there, you see that? So they're there, you've just got to back stitch through them, and I'll try and do that as neat as possible because it's actually going to go onto the back of my flap, which is black. So I have to do it. I have to, but if you're worried about seeing green thread on the back, you've got a couple of things you can do. You can not use green, you can go just straight to black, so it's going to be black on the back, or you can do that little cheater thing where you stitch it on and it doesn't matter what the back looks like, and then with your leftover bits and pieces from your panels, just cut yourself a little tab and slip stitch it on there. It's going to look gorgeous, and it's also going to cover up all those little sins of your back stitch on the back of your flap. So I haven't finished it. Now, also in the instructions, which I've started, well, they're pretty much drafted up, ready for Steve to do tomorrow, we are putting in enough fabric and instructions for you so that you can either keep your handles short, like I have, or you will have enough to make them as long as you like. So you'll have enough to do the full width of a bolt of fabric. So, you know, I'm kind of here. I like this. I want to be able to just walk with it, just, you know, with my top. I just want to be able to walk with it like this. It's going to have my laptop in it and a few other bits, so that's what I'm using mine for. But if you like, you can make a longer one to put it up top. The other thing about this bag is, because we're using rubber foam batting, which reminds me, if you are going to grab your rubber foam batting, I want you to grab 1/2 meter, please, for this project. So that's another thing I've popped on today's show. And if you've got any questions, let me know. But Usually I will always say to you, don't set your handles too wide if you're going to put a lot of stuff in your bag, because it'll do this. The great thing about this bag is because you've got all this stability from rubber foam batting front, back and on the flap, it's actually stopping the bag pulling in. So I can get away with not having, once I've got some stuff in it, having super long handles. Usually these need to be a lot longer to stop this buckling, but because the way that the flap comes over and I'm going to secure it, it's going to stop a lot of that crushing internal folding in on itself. You can't see, I think you can see, you can't, which is a good thing. I've actually compartmentalized, oh, getting fancy with the words now, I don't know why, my pocket at the back. So I have sewn a line of black just on the edge of one of my pin tucks to break it down into 2 pockets, which is quite nifty if you can do it. Just take your time, because then you can't actually see where you've divided the pockets. And I could actually do more if I wanted to use it for, you know, like my creative grids rulers, if this is my sewing bag. Looks good, doesn't it? Doesn't it look good? I could actually come through and customize it to sit all my rulers and bits and pieces in across the back if it's my sewing bag. I did some of this here a little late. Thanks, Kate. Well, you know, cast off is so funny. It's all, you know what, guys, it's all about the colour. It is just colour. And, you know, every now and then we get nice big feature prints like this where we can go through and play with the colour. I'm hoping to pull some off with my own stuff. The big remember the big Waratah, the original Under the Australian Sun? Steve and I are colouring that Friday morning, the final colour run, and it's going off to Japan to get printed, but I've redone it. So it's bigger. I'm hoping it's bigger and better. I've crammed every single flower, with the exception, I think, of a spiky hakea that we had somewhere along the line. I have crammed every one from the last 12 years we've used in Under the Australian Sun into the one print. And it was done. It was 75, 80% done pre-COVID. I literally had it ready to go before we went to Spain to bring out that year, which was the 10th anniversary of Under the Australian Sun. So now it's the 12th anniversary and we're finally getting it done. Anyway, for me, big Waratah print here. Ooh, we could put Melba there. Big Waratah print here. And then pick up all the colours in the flowering gums along the bottom. Okay, so straps any length you want. The pockets down here, I have fussy cut. We're going to do a quick bit of fussy cutting in a minute. Fussy cut these from the panels. I've used the same on each side. You could use something different. Then the actual panel is another section of your pre-paste bit from your front and back pockets, and it is attached onto a fussy cut strip from the medallion panel. There you go. So that's what's on there. Who's got in their stash, like me, who's got in their stash Peggy tool for Robert Kaufman Florentine medallion panels? Have you got them? I've got them. I was the biggest fan, and that's probably one of the very few things left in my personal stash. If you're still sitting on some of that and you've made a big cut, you've got some left and you don't know what to do with it, in here, this is what you do with it. All right, so definitely, I'm going to put this up and I'm going to pull back my panel here. I'm going to burn myself, so let me just get rid of this here iron. Oh, I have show and tell. I have another show and tell, and I didn't make it. Firstly, this is my show and tell. As you know, this was our butterfly needlework case that we popped up on the website, our leftover kits, and then Natasha's. Yeah, I'll have those. So there's Natasha girls. These are all going off to the UK for Natasha Show and Craft and Create. I had to think for a minute. Craft and Create. Now, I think we had a few, and I've left about 6 up on the website, and then the rest of them are all getting packed off and going off to the UK on Friday with new quilt samples and other things for Natasha. So if you want one, you got to be quick now, because they're not going to be a forever ever on the website. Got everything in that you need. Okay, so this is mine, and I suppose I'm sending this to Natasha too, aren't I? I'll have to make another one. Right, so it maybe in a different colour. Let's do that. Ooh, with the new black flowering gum coming. Yes. All right, anyway. This is mine as well. Have a look at this one. Somebody named Steve took home a kit, worked it all out, grabbed a little bit of Summer Palace, a little bit of wicker, fussy cut of ours, must have overheard me at some stage, not sure. Grab some wool. This is beautiful the new recycled dyed wool that we're going to put up on the website. Bit of blossom on the back. And he made me one. I've just got to add my class. How beautiful is that? So for any of you out there who say, oh no, I can't do that. Well, I'm very sorry, but your website manager, young Stephen, 20, who had never sewn anything in his life before, did it. I'm assuming there was some YouTube Googling going on how to do blanket stitch and glove stitch. Wasn't too keen on the blanket stitch, but I tell you what, it's pretty good. With no tuition, it's pretty good. So I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed. This is mine. It was a late Mother's Day present. Because for Mother's Day, I got my chicken coop assembled. That's my Mother's Day present. I want to walk you through where all these panels are going, in case you've got one of these at home and you want to start having a look. So, hello Diane Rushwood, hello Val, hello Anne, hello Sharon. Jill, it's not Jill. Oh, they're your colours, Jill. You love the bright stuff like me. Okay. So let's have a little bit of a play here. And, I wanted that rounded flap on mine. Okay. So I wanted this. I wanted it straight. It actually couldn't curve just in a half moon shape, because I would have lost half my medallion. I would only end up with that much. So I needed it to come down straight and then curve. Now, what I did was exactly the same suggestion or technique as we have put in the swing satchel to get the curve on the front flap. So what you do with this one is you'll cut 2 triangles out, get it all ready, and then to add that curve onto the bottom corners of your flap, you actually use a cotton reel right there. So there's a little diagram in the pattern that says this is straight, then you just pop your cotton reel on the corner and draw around it and trim down to get your little curve. So I've done exactly the same thing with the front flap. Now, with these, I'm going to look at where these are. You're going to get to know your panel intimately, absolutely intimately, because it's a very interesting panel. There are different distances between different medallions. It's not very OCD like mine. I am sure Paula has it all worked out of what she's going to use where and when with her panels. But for what we're doing, we had to mess with them. I am leaving you. I need to get my ruler. Okay. So, sorry, had to go out for the big one. What I suggest you do with your panels, depending on where you're going to use them and the size that you need to cut. First of all, measure your panel. That is really, really important. Right across here. So this one is 10. If I hold it right across the center bit, this is 10. Now I've got my panels cut down at, I think most of them are, well, now I've drawn a blank. Need chocolate. I need chocolate. I need chocolate. What did I cut you at? I've cut mine at 11. Yeah, really? Yes, 11. So that I've got a little bit either side. And with this front flap, of course, you can change the size of it if you wish to. You can make it bigger or smaller depending on what you're doing, because your whole width of your bag panels, the finished size, is actually 14. So you just need to leave enough for those little handles, but you've got a little bit of room to move. You can go a little bit smaller and you can go a little bit bigger. So I'm going to cut mine down at 11, and that means that I've got to stop at 5.5 right on the middle here. Grab yourself a chalk pen. You are going to find this an absolutely invaluable tool for this panel because you're working on black. So I'm going to pop my ruler over the top now. I am going to replace all of my rulers with Creative Grids ones very, very soon, and I'm going to get bigger ones in stock for us as well. 5.5, 11. I don't know what this mark out here was. Don't know what happened there. Rotary cutter. It's here. It's here. I've used it. I know what you're going to do. You're going to lace it. It's under the fabric. All right. So I need to make sure that I've got my 5.5 inch line right through the middle of the medallion, and you're going to actually find that really easy to do because it's a symmetrical, geometrical shape. I'm going to come up to there. Now you have to promise me that you are going to be super careful. There will be no rotary cutting sideways, no rotary cutting towards you. Turn your fabric, or stand on the other side of the table, or something else, but do not mess around with your safety. You could, of course, draw your square on first and then just use your narrow Creative Grids ruler to cut on those lines. Okay, there we go. Now, okay, I am being a little bit ad hoc because it's all about showing you what comes next with the flap. But you can be as generous or as frugal as you like. I would say that we're just doing hard copies of this pattern for now. This is one of the first patterns where it's a new concept and a new design, and we're releasing it. So we'll start off with hard copies, and we will get that up online before I see you on Friday to be able to purchase just the pattern. So we need to come back and look at some other ideas for it. Okay, it's going to go through there. It's lined up along here. There we are. Okay, so that is an 11-inch square ready to use for my flap. This is what I wanted to show you, and this is going to get backed with Soft and Stable, and with me plain black for the flap. And I chose to bag it out. I don't, when you're using the thick stuff, I usually tend to just use a 630 Pellin or a 640 in there, and a 630 is actually what I have used in here, which you are getting in the kit, by the way. I think I will put that in. I'm going to put that in for you as part of that deal that I've put up there. Bag batting you'll need to grab yourself, and I will put that in. Remember, I've told you that's 1/2 meter. And grab single-sided. That's what I've tagged. I want you to have single-sided adhesive. I don't want you sewing in, because you need the stability of the adhesive because of all the little strips. I'm going to pop this Pellin in for you because you want something thinner. You can't use the bag batting. It's just too much going on, all right? But your bag batting is going to go in this flap. And usually I would use the thinner stuff, as I said, but I think because of the size of the flap, it holds its shape really nicely because of the curve. It does work. If you were to do this, say, in a shirting, like in a denim or a cotton drill or something like that, or a plainer fabric perhaps, and you're going to add some 3D embellishment or something over the top, of course you're going to come round and do a really nice top stitch, and you can do that in a contrasting thread colour, so it's almost got that sort of denim jean pocket look about it. But we don't want anything, absolutely anything, messing with the eye being attracted to this medallion, so I've kept it really plain and simple. And this batting is important because it's going to hold that shape. I could have cut down the rest of this to use for the straps on here, but it's going to detract too much from what's going on here, so I didn't do it. You could, but I didn't. I just wanted everything else to really stay as simple as possible so that the pacing and the feature shined. Okay, so with mine, I actually used a plate. Now, I needed to be sure that the plate shape that I'm using is about the same, the size of the plate is about the same as the medallion, and you can see that it is. So this is a Casa de Mani pearlesque fine china. Just have a look in the cupboard, find your main course plates and have a little bit of a look. This guy is... Oh, for those doing Be Mindful, you know, they're all thinking, oh, that's what we're doing with Michelle's medallion. So this is 10 1/4 and just 10. Yeah, so that's a good shape. I wouldn't want to go any smaller than that. So I'm just going to do it on this one so we can have a quick look. Look at that. See? Nice. Oh, you probably can't see it. Hang on. I'm hoping I can hold that up for you. Can you see? No. Yes. Just. There you go. You can just see I've drawn that on. So that is going to give me my lovely curve around here. Now that I've drawn it on there and I'm happy with the actual shape of it, I wanted to do it on here first so I could actually check it. What I will do is this will get sandwiched with soft and stable in the middle, another square and a square of plain black, and then I will redraw this line with my plate onto the plain black, and I will follow that line around. So as I go around with my 1/4 inch, when I get round to that line, my needle will kick onto that line and go right round and then out the other side, and that's going to give me just, you know, a really nice curved edge that's going to mimic the shape of the medallion. So that's for that one. When you do the others, and we will look at them on Friday night, there's this one as well. So this one I have used underneath the flap. So you can see that one in there. So with these, because this one is not as wide as the actual bag, we actually add sashing pieces onto the side, and of course way down in there we've actually added a strip of plain black, and you can't see it, it's hidden underneath, but that's so that we can get this whole effect of the medallion popping up underneath the flap, and the same with the one on the back. Exactly the same deal, and there's a bit underneath in there. So when you start looking at this bag, it looks really complicated. It's actually really simple, because the front and the back are exactly the same. They just look different because I've used different medallions in there, and on this side you've got the flap sitting over the front, and the same with the sides. Super easy. This bag is constructed the same way as a twisted pin tuck patchwork bag. Now, just finally, before we head off for today, and I'm hoping those of you that have already got these panels will go and have a little bit of a look, get to know your panels well so that you're ready to have a play. Vermeulen, what are you making? It is, Deb, it is regular 640 Pellon is what you want. If you mean the violin in the swing satchel, it's just it's normal adhesive stuff that we've got. That's what we've got. What are you making, Judy? I don't know. Now, this guy is what we have used, and you've got a few of these on your panel, is what I have used here. So again, we get to do some fussy cutting. We actually need to cut these down. Oh, I'm pushing my memory now, but I think it's to 8.5. So they are 5 wide. So you're going to be centering your ruler at 2.5 right down through here, and they need to be 9 high. I'm going to flip my ruler around. So there's my 2. If this is the top here, we're going to make sure that we leave enough for a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then we're going to come down, I think it's to about 8.5. So this, in this case, they're going to get chopped. Now, do you see what I've had to do, which freaks me out just a little bit, and I'm not sure, again, what Paula's got in her head to use these fabrics for, but for me, I hate it when people do that to me, but I'm going to say, if it had been me and I designed this particular fabric, I would have had these points here. Oh, and then they wouldn't have fitted on the fabric. I knew that. Maybe that's why they've had to go that way, because it would have been just easier for us if they were there. But we are going to be cutting diagonally across, and that is another reason why we use single-sided adhesive filing, because it's going to stabilize it, and it has. It stabilized it really nicely on here. These guys down here, there's a heap on your panels. You've got all of these to play with. I have used these ones because they fit nicely into the size square, which is a 5-inch square that I needed to use, but you could use the others. You might just lose little bits off them. If you have got from way back when, our floral keeper pattern, or you want to make yourself a pinwheel like the ones in our Chatelaine pattern, these would be perfect, absolutely perfect. One of these, you get this little circular cup that your keys get pulled up into. Got to find that pattern. And then the ones, these here, the leftovers, and in these ones as well, would be gorgeous, gorgeous pin cushions or pinwheels to use. So there's a few extra things. Don't even get me started on fussy cutting for English paper piecing, because we will be here till midnight. This fabric for that would just be sensational. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention, or two things, if you love your bling, and you know that I'm adding on this little magnetic clip down here on mine and popping them in the kits. If you love your bling, you can see I haven't quilted. One, I've got adhesive, it's all going to hold. And I couldn't bring myself to quilt. We talked about it the other day. I just couldn't. But if you want a little bit of bling, just come through with some little gold seed beads. Okay, 1, 2, just out here in these little curly bits of green. One in the middle. There's some little black spots too. Maybe just little pinpoint quilting spots. So you get the little indents with your seed beads, but it's not a full-on quilting extravaganza that's going on. All right. Second thing, which is why we have to come back Friday night. What's everyone doing Friday night? About 7:30, 8 o'clock. Are we all good with that? We'll come back. You have got leftovers. I had 2 of these, and we've been talking, and I've lost stuff, and it's probably on the floor, so we won't waste time. Look. No, that's not it. Got it. Oh, I waste time looking. I took my leftovers. Now, you're going to have about that much left when you've got your whole bag made. Choices. You could add, and I will put in the instructions, you can add extra pockets inside if you want to. You could use them for a wow factor for your pockets. You could also, perhaps with your lining, instead of cutting them to the exact same sizes, you could run a narrow band. I'll just hold this for you. So when you look inside your bag, your top of your bag right round the rim could actually be leftovers of this. A few options. You might say, no, Lisa, I'm going to use it to cut the inside of my flap, so that when your flap comes, well, this is pretty good, isn't it? When your flap comes up, ooh, yeah, okay, that would be really nice as well. So you've got a few options. What I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to make a couple of zip purses to go inside my bag, so that I've got extra stuff that matches for pencils and notebooks and stuff. So I've actually cut 2 that way from the leftovers, and I'm going to turn them that way and pop a zip in those. And then I still had another bit left that was that tall, wait, about that, something like that, about that, oh yeah, about that height, and I have cut them down. So I'm going to have one zipper purse that goes that way, and I'm going to have another one that goes that way. So I'm going to get these made up and do the demo for you on Friday night. We've done lots of zip demos before, but I think it's good to come back and do it again, particularly when we've got lots of sort of piecing and stuff going on. These are going to need just a thin 630 Pellon inside them, and I'll probably just use a bit of black or something, or I could actually use my leftovers from my panels for inside these. So that needs to happen. If you're going to pop down one of these kits and you like this idea for what's left over, I have tagged you'll need, I'm going to use a 30 centimeter dress zip for that one, and I'm going to use a 20 centimeter for this one. Alternatively, if you love your zips, you might want to grab one of our meter lengths of black and gold, and also one of the packs of zip pulls, like the ones that we're going to use in the new satchel bag kit. Wow, it is so much later in the day than we thought it was going to be. So thank you very much for hanging with me. It did mean the girls in the UK could actually join us, because we're just running, only an hour behind schedule. It's only 2 hours and 20 minutes to Natasha Makes. Friday's good for you, Nancy. Excellent. Lois will be back later. Oops, busy sewing. All right, so I think I'm going to make it a bit later. I'm going to make it 8 o'clock on Friday. That gives us time to have dinner, watch the news, clean up the kitchen, pack and put on the dishwasher, marinate the meat for Saturday night, or work out what you're doing for your Sunday roast, and all that other stuff, and get everyone organised for the weekend. So let's say 8 o'clock Friday night. I don't think I've got anything on. Never. I know that I'm out Saturday for a bit, but that's all. All right. So listen, again, thank you so much for persevering and waiting this afternoon. I'm just assuming you were all sitting around having a bit of a stitch for the afternoon anyway. So I'm really pleased you're able to come back on and check that we were back on. And there will be a family meeting discussion, I'm quite sure, this evening, along the lines that start with "What the?" and it will be good. Goodbye, Donna. Thank you. Thanks, Sally. Fiona. See you Friday. And I don't have a dishwasher, so you could have actually come earlier, Fiona. You're so funny. But I'm glad you'll be able to join us on Friday. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Any questions, please don't pop them in comments for me. Pop them on info@chandlerscottage.com. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday evening. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.